My name is Emma. I am 30 years old. For most of my life, I was weak. My body often felt heavy and tired. I got sick easily. Sometimes even walking up the stairs made me lose my breath. I often stayed in bed longer than I should have. I was afraid of doing things because I thought I would fail. I did not like myself much. I lived alone in a small apartment in a quiet neighborhood. Every morning, I looked out the window and watched other people going to work or jogging with their dogs. They looked full of energy. I wished I could be like them, but I always told myself, that's not me. I believed I was just someone who didn't have strength. I worked from home as an online customer service assistant. It was not a bad job, but it was lonely. I talked to people through my computer all day, but I never met anyone face to face. When my work ended, I usually watched TV or scrolled on my phone. My life was simple, safe, and empty. One evening, I caught my reflection in the window. I looked pale and thin. My eyes looked tired. I whispered, "What happened to me?" I used to dream of traveling, painting, or helping others. But I had lost that version of myself somewhere. I sat on the couch and started to cry. That night, I decided something had to change. I didn't know what exactly, but I knew I wanted to feel alive again. The next morning, I opened my closet and found an old pair of sneakers. They were covered with dust. I hadn't worn them for years. I thought, maybe I could try walking. Just walking. When I stepped outside, the air felt cold on my face. It was early, and the streets were quiet. I started walking slowly. My legs felt stiff. My heart beat faster than I expected. After 5 minutes, I wanted to go home. But I told myself, just 10 minutes. I reached the park near my house. A few runners passed by me. They looked free, like they belonged in the morning light. I felt small next to them, but I kept walking. After 10 minutes, I stopped and sat on a bench. My hands were shaking. My chest was tight. But inside, I felt something strange. I felt proud. I had gone outside. I had tried. When I got home, I made a note on my phone. Day 1, 10 minutes walk. It felt good to write it. The next day, I did it again. My body hurt, but I went anyway. The day after that, I went a little farther. A week later, I could walk for 20 minutes. My legs didn't hurt as much. My heart didn't beat so fast. My body started to remember how to move. Then one morning, I saw a woman about my age running in the park. She smiled as she passed me. I smiled back. Something inside me said, maybe I could try that too. The next day, I tried to run for 1 minute. My lungs burned. I almost gave up. But I kept running until my phone timer beeped. I slowed down to a walk and started laughing. I couldn't believe I did it. Each week, I ran a little more. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then 5. Some days were harder than others. There were mornings I didn't want to get out of bed. But I forced myself to remember how I felt after running. Light, alive, free. Running became my daily routine. I started eating better too. I drank more water. I cooked simple meals. My skin looked brighter. My body grew stronger. My mind began to change. I felt proud of small victories. After 2 months, I ran for 20 minutes without stopping. When I finished, I sat on the grass and cried again. But this time, they were happy tears. I realized I had done something I never thought possible. Around that time, I met a man named Ryan in the park. He was stretching after a run. He smiled and said,
I see you here every morning. You're doing great.
I laughed nervously. I'm still slow, I said.
That doesn't matter.
He said.
You show up. That's the hardest part.
We talked a little each time we met. He told me he had started running after a hard time in his own life. He said running made him believe in himself again. I understood what he meant. After that, I started joining a small weekend running group. At first, I was shy. I thought everyone would be faster. But they were kind. We ran slowly together, talked, and cheered for each other. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Months passed. My body became stronger. My legs looked toned. I could climb stairs without losing my breath. People at work said I looked happier. My doctor told me my blood pressure was perfect. But the biggest change was not physical. It was in my mind. Running taught me patience. It taught me to trust myself. I learned that progress comes slowly. I learned that even small effort counts. One morning, while running along the beach, I stopped to watch the sunrise. The sky turned orange and pink. The waves crashed softly. I felt peace. I whispered, "Thank you," not to anyone specific, but to life itself. That same week, I saw a flyer at the park. It said, "Community 5K charity run Beginners welcome. My heart jumped. I wanted to sign up, but fear returned. What if I couldn't finish? What if people laughed at me? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the race. Finally, I said to myself, Emma, you ran for months. You can do this. The next morning, I signed up. I trained for it every day. Ryan and the group helped me. We practiced short runs, then longer ones. I bought a new pair of shoes. They felt like a promise. The race day arrived. The park was full of people. Music played. Everyone looked excited. My hands were shaking as I pinned my number on my shirt. Ryan smiled and said,
You got this.
When the whistle blew, we started. At first, I ran too fast. My chest burned. I slowed down and found my rhythm. I told myself, just keep moving. The crowd cheered as we passed. Some little kids held signs saying, You can do it. Their voices gave me strength. Halfway through, I wanted to stop. My legs hurt. But then I remembered my first day. That weak girl who could barely walk. I thought of her and said, Don't stop now. When I saw the finish line, tears filled my eyes. I pushed through. I crossed the finish line. My body ached, but my heart was light. I laughed and cried at the same time. Ryan hugged me and said,
You did it.
That moment changed me forever. It was not just a race. It was a message to myself. I am stronger than I thought. After the race, I started setting new goals. I wanted to share my story. I began writing about my journey online. I wrote about fear, about small steps, about hope. People started commenting. Some said they also wanted to start running because of me. I couldn't believe it. Later, the local community center asked if I could lead a small beginners running group. I said yes, even though I was nervous. On the first day, 10 people came. They were shy and afraid, just like I had been. I told them it's okay to start small. The hardest part is just showing up. We ran slowly together. We laughed when we got tired. We celebrated every little progress. Watching them grow gave me joy. Running was no longer just about me. It became something bigger. A way to connect, to help, to live fully. Now, 3 years have passed since that first walk. I still run almost every morning. I still get tired sometimes. But I no longer see weakness as failure. I see it as a place to begin. My life is not perfect. I still have worries, bad days, and fears. But I also have strength, purpose, and peace. When I look back at that pale, tired woman who sat on the couch crying, I feel love for her. She didn't give up. She took one step. That one step changed everything. Running gave me back my confidence. It gave me health, friends, and a reason to smile. But most of all, it gave me myself. If you ever feel lost, remember this. You don't need to do it all at once. You just need to start. One step, one breath, one moment. That's how I found my life again.